What up, good people? I'm your host, Mr. Unleashed. Now, Carnival Hunt is a game that has been in development for a while now, but they had a Kickstarter for the game that a lot of people supported, and now the game is moving on to the alpha stage of testing. So if you support the Kickstarter, then you got access to the alpha testing. At least that's how I read it. But I feel the game is not close to being ready to play. We know from experience, asymmetrical horror games take a lot of work, and at release, gamers still discover hacks, make other players miserable, and they love looping the killer. I have played my fair share of asymmetrical horror games, and most of them do not keep a long, healthy player base. I can name only two that I think is doing fairly well, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, and of course, Dead by Daylight. I would like to think the game developers of Carnival Hunt learn from these other asymmetrical horror games. So let's see, what do Carnival Hunt have to do to make the game successful and have a good stability in the community. Some of the things that I like that they are doing is, even if you solo and the other players on your team is in a group, there will be a way for you to survive. For example, just like an asymmetrical horror game, the victim's teamwork is the goal in order to win.
Made it up. We made this one up.
In Carnival Hunt, that could result in a quick match for a lot of solo players, due to how the bunnies operate. Beer Night Studio recognized this, so Jack can help recharge bunnies instead of needing the help of another bunny to recharge them. But you must have certain candy items. It will require a key and candies, unless they decide to change it by release, which is a good sign because it shows that the developers are keeping an eye on what needs to be done to make sure playing the bunnies do not become an issue for solo players. But there's more things than what I just mentioned that the developers must watch out for to keep Carnival Hunt from falling into the asymmetrical rut. Starting with an example of Evil Dead. Evil Dead had good gameplay, but it also had a lot of things that needed fixing in the environment and the interaction with the environment when picking up things. It was not uncommon to run across a soda can or some kind of weapon that you wasn't able to interact with. Now I have a feeling Carnival Hunt will also have interaction with the environment issues as well, just from the look of the game. So with the amount of testing that the developers are doing with the game and the alpha testing that's out there for people to play, sound like they are relying on the community to break the game so they can fix anything that's broken before release. What else they need to avoid is what you may be thinking right now. Well, moving on to what caused Killer Clowns from Outer Space the game to struggle. The game got boring real fast in my opinion. Carnival Hunt seems to be taking a unique approach with their game as well, with using the bunnies as the victims and the remaster as the killers. Killer Comes from Outer Space relied on human teammates freeing fellow players from cocoons, which is awesome until clown players decided it was just easier to kill human players. Ever since then, it became less fun to play the clowns due to disconnections or fast escapes from the victims. I believe Beer Night Studios need to make Carnival Hunt a game with more than one incentive to keep playing by delivering quick updates, different bunny characters, and ringmasters. I think them adding in game items to find in order to decorate your lobby is okay idea to start with. One of the main indicators if this game will be played and liked for a long time by the community is the balancing of the characters, because they can't fall into the trap of the killer being bullied by the victims. We have seen that a lot in the asymmetrical horror game world, and it's starting to become annoying. Carnival Hunt game trailer shows the bunnies really being helpless and have no choice but to run from the ringmaster. But from the trailer, the remaster do look very overpowering, which will make escaping very difficult for the bunnies until routes are memorized by players through repeated gameplay. Carnival Hunt is another game with potential due to uniqueness in the gameplay mechanics. Make sure to stick around and hit that subscribe button to keep up with Carnival Hunt. Welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.